Inside of our index.php file, between the body tags, let's start typing div with the ID of wrapper. Inside of the wrapper, we're going to start with a div with the ID of navigation, which will simply store our two links. First one is ahref with a hash in it, ID list, and list view as a label. Then we're gonna have another one, href, again just hash ID grid and grid view. Okay, after this we're going to create another div with the ID of product. Now we're going to create another div with the class product. Inside of this div we're going to create a div with a class wrapper, and then we have div with the class image, where our image will be stored in just a second. Then we have div with a class description, now we have h1 with the a tag, href, article, title, so just basically a placeholder for some content, then some paragraph. Actually we're going to use, I've got a plugin here to put some lorem ipsum. Let's put just 1, 2, 3 paragraphs basically of content. Okay, obviously you can put whatever text you want to put here. I'm assuming you will be using some database to populate content from, but for the purpose of this exercise, I'm just putting basically some connection. 3 paragraphs is a little bit too much. I think 1 is going to be enough. Okay, now for the image, obviously we need to put our link to our images. So image source / images folder. If I open the file browser, you can see we've got these images. I've named my images sequentially, so 01, 02, 03, 04. So I'm going to start with 01.jpg, and then we go for alt tag. I'm just going to give it a name of image 1. Then we have, I'm going to close this browser because we can't see much. Then we have width, which will be 160, all of them, and then height will be 160 as well. And then we can close our image tag. We can also put border set to null. Okay, so now with all this done, what we can do, rather than retyping all this over and over again until we run out of the images, I'm going to create the for loop, PHP for loop. So we have I equals 1, I must be less or equal 4, because that's how many images I have in my images folder, then I plus plus. Open curly brace, then after the closing product tag, we're going to close our loop, but I just need to make sure that I'm not closing it too early. Actually, I am. We have to put this here because that's for the single product. Obviously, we're looping through the single products. Okay, now obviously names of the images. So since we're using sequential numbers as well, I can replace this 01 with simply echo i.jpg, and the same for image for the alt tag to replace it with image 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that should do the trick. If we now go back to our browser, refresh the page, you can see that all these are now displaying fine, apart from obviously the fact that we haven't styled anything yet. So let's move to the next video, and we're going to start creating our CSS file.